Hello YouTube, welcome back to Assetto Corsa, and today I am going to be taking a look at the Porsche Panamera G2 or second edition or Mark II or whatever you guys want to call it. This is one of the free cars, I believe, that was included with the latest update, the 1.9 update. Of course you've got the rest of the Porsche Pack and there's some free cars coming in, and this is the first one that's been revealed. It's an interesting car, and it's going to be difficult for me to review because of one simple reason. I hated the original Panamera. I found it one of the ugliest cars I've ever seen, one of the bloatiest, and one of the most ridiculous cars I'd ever seen, even though it was pretty quick. Anyway, I'll talk about what I think of this car quite shortly, but first of all we'll just go through the specs as usual, and you guys may notice this is a short episode. What I'm going to do is I'm going to review one car today, and I'm going to see if I can get another episode out midweek reviewing another car, so you guys don't have to wait too long to get these to have a look at these cars, and you get to see a few more episodes. It's just a bit something to break up midweek or something like that. Anyway, this car features a 4-litre V8 engine. Now, this car comes in various different forms. In this, I believe it's the Panamera Turbo S or something like that. It's one of the highest versions. I don't think it's the full executive version, but it does come with a 4-litre V8 engine. Now, it develops 550 brake horsepower, which is around 5,750 RPM to about 6,000 RPM. So it's in a very small band, but it's a very nice linear curve going up to about 4,000, and then it sort of peaks off into some small quadratic curves, so a nice rounded curve over the top. So it does feel very nice. You don't get sudden lurches or anything like that, as you would expect from a luxury saloon car or luxury sedan car, I suppose, or I don't know what this. It's not really a sedan, it's not really a saloon, I don't know what it is. It's a Porsche, a luxury Porsche. That's what I'm going to call this one. Now, the car itself is 2 tons in weight, or just over 2 tons, 2,070 kilograms. That's short tons, not long tons. And with the 550 brake horsepower, it also produces 770 newton meters of torque, which is quite nice, between 2,000 and about 4,600 RPM or something like that, and it's really nice. So that's a good torque pull. Again, this is something you expect from a luxury car. What it doesn't have is a manual gearbox. Now, with this generation of Panamera, they've actually got rid of the manual gearbox because it really wasn't selling. Most people were opting for the automatic or the PDK, which is what comes with this, which is basically your paddle shifters. I've forgotten exactly what PDK is, something in German. But basically it just means, the paddle shifters. That's what it means. Now, all of that with this nice engine. Now remember, this is a V8 that produces 550, which is less than what the other Panamera produced. The other Panamera was a V6 with 570 brake horsepower, if I remember correctly, which is interesting because this car is faster. 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds. Is what we get. I think that's actually with launch control, so I think it'd probably be 3.7 seconds without launch control. But there you go. It's you don't have launch control in Assetto Corsa yet, but that's pretty cool. It is quite a powerful car, a nice luxury saloon car, or luxury Porsche. I don't think anyone's really interested in its fuel economy. We're in Assetto Corsa, but just to throw out those figures, it does do on average about 30 miles per gallon, or for those of you in Europe, that would be 9.5 liters per 100 kilometers or something like that. Anyway, top speed 190 miles per hour. So that's pretty good, and that's a 4-wheel drive system, which means that you get good launch, good traction, and you do have an 8-gear gearbox plus reverse. Don't really know. I don't think I ever used 8th gear in this. I think the highest I went up to was 6 or 7. Didn't you really use 8? So I'm guessing 8 is a very high ratio gear, which is just basically for cruising. You're not going to get much pull out of that gear, but it's going to be very quiet, very low revs, and just giving you a nice cruise on the motorway or something like that. The wheels are 20-inch alloys, which is pretty hefty on a car like this, but they do fit quite nicely, and I think that's a nice way to move on to the overall looks of the car. It looks a lot better than the previous car. The previous Porsche Panamera was ridiculously ugly. I found it one of the ugliest cars I had ever seen. It just looked like it was bulging out in all the wrong places. This looks, yes, it's still bulging, it's a bit long, it looks a bit fat, but the shape of it seems more aerodynamic, it seems smoother, the lines flow a bit better, the contours around from the front wing over the side panels of the body right over to the back, it all seems to work. And Kunos, of course, in partnership with Porsche, have done this very, very nicely. It looks great. And I tell you something, the sounds on this, I think all the Porsches in this pack sound really, really great. Interior, this car sounds quite quiet, as you'd expect from a luxury car. It's muted, it's not too loud. You can hear at 6,000 RPM, it's still not that loud. It feels quite muted, quite dull. The V8 engine, you can hear the V8, but it doesn't overpower you. On the other hand, from the outside, the exhaust note is loud and raspy, and when you're off the throttle, the exhaust pops, going through the gears in the high RPM range. It's very, very nice. So I do think that the exhaust is really nice on this car, and it sounds like I don't know which car to really in a way, it sounds a bit like the Mercedes AMG cars. I suppose being the V8 and having that particular configuration that we have in Europe, as opposed to the American configuration. What is it? Transverse configuration in America, and here we have a very different configuration. It does have that very Mercedes AMG style sound, which is pretty good. Texturing inside looks really great. You can see that it looks like a 7 or 8-inch display in the center console. The HUD is really nice, so you got on the dashboard. Everything looks really, really fancy there. And I'm just putting the feedback down a little bit more. You've got a clock there that works. You've also got a clock on the center panel, which is, I suppose, for the passengers. And it is very, very nice looking inside. Physics-wise, this is where, because it's such a big car, it understeers, it's four-wheel drive, it's not exactly, I'll be honest, it's not the best car to drive. It's quick, it's very quick, but I didn't feel very connected to the car. Everything just felt dulled out. Obviously, again, because it's a luxury car, I don't think it's designed for tracks. Obviously it's not designed for tracks, it's designed to be comfortable. The suspension is designed to absorb the impact, not make it too difficult to drive. It's meant to be fast but really, really comfortable, and I didn't like that because of a race car. So as a car, for what it's designed, it's absolutely brilliant, but as someone who wants to drive said car, it's not really what I'd really expect. It's a bit too soft for my liking. The suspension's not firm enough. It doesn't feel that sporty. It feels a bit understeer, a little bit floaty, really. But like I said, for the car that it's designed to be, I think it is a very, very good car. This can now compete, I think, against the Maserati. Is it I've forgotten the name of that Maserati. There's a four-door Maserati. It's not the Quattroporte. Is it the Quattroporte? I'm not too sure. And you've got the Aston Martin Rapide, and what else is there? There's a few of these big. There's a Lamborghini that I don't think was ever made, a four-door Lamborghini that was never ever made. But there you go. That brings us pretty close to the end of the episode. So let me rate this car. As a car, for what it does, it's really, really good. It's probably a 9.5 out of 10. In Assetto Corsa, for what it is, I don't really like it so much. So I mean, I have to, on personal preference, I have to knock it down and really give it an 8. I think an 8 out of 10 is a reasonable score for it. 7.5 or 8 out of 10 is a fairly reasonable score. It's a good car, but it doesn't really fit in Assetto Corsa for driving on a racetrack. That being said, taking it on a road, it does feel quite comfortable. It just doesn't have that feedback of a sporty car, which is a bit sad. But there we go, that brings us to the end of the episode. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit the like button if you like this video, subscribe to the channel for more videos on Assetto Corsa, and leave a comment in the comments box below letting me know what you think of the Porsche Panamera G2 Turbo. Tell you what, again, it looks a lot better than the previous version. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next episode, where I'll be taking a look at the Porsche Cayman 718S.